So I will be disappointed if it doesn't happen, but I'll be excited if it does.
All right, well, Lysandra and Urgot there for Clutch, and Aatrox with one more to go for OpTic. That's Lucian banned away from Piglet. I mean that Yorick is very much still alive. Unless Huni snags at first pick, then it's going to be very tough to take Yorick after that.
Yeah.
But Akali's open, they'll take Akali. Pretty straightforward.
I mean, this is the champion that Damonte was carrying on up against TSM. He was able to stay in the game up against Bjergsen in the mid lane, survived all the harassment, got to the mid game, and then popped off in the team fights. He and Piglet were the ones that were carrying, and he was the one who kind of got the game back from when Huni was kind of power feeding the top lane on Victor.
Well, of course, Huni could take it himself, so is some flexibility there. And overall, Akali is such a strong first pick. However, they will start with Gates champion, I assume, and they'll take Thresh here as their first pick overall.
Yeah, they have the Thresh. It's interesting that they picked this so early when Alistar's on the table, when they have so much, and this is getting really strange really quick.
Yeah, Rumble picked up there for OpTic to presumably take away from Huni, but we'll see exactly where it goes. I mean, I have to assume Dokla will be playing it, but there is potentially some movement they could have there.
Rumble's pretty funny against Akali because if she goes in the Shroud, you just start spinning around in it, like, where is she? And when you damage her, it'll like show her for a quick second. So you just kind of spin around and try to find her and then just point it at her. Like, find her in the smoke.
By lighting everything on fire. Makes sense to me.
He's lit.
As Israel will be the pickup there for Piglet with Lucian banned. Not surprised to see high priority there for Clutch on that champion. And Damonte's hovering Teemo because he's had too much fun after winning his first 2 games in LCS.
I feel like you go jungler or you go Alistar here. Support. Oh, the Tom to save him? Oh, just this. Oh, the Tom Kench is back. Just save people from the hook. Even with Tom Kench, people were like, oh, he's useless now. His Devour is like double the cooldown. It's like, it's still a powerful ability. It's super powerful.
And I think with a player like Piglet, Vulcan knows that his sworn duty on this team is to save Piglet from any danger. And Piglet classically does like to get himself in quite a lot of danger.
Yeah, it's the Piglet special. He's very aggressive. He just likes to flex on people. And I'm expecting that in this game. And Clutch, they've been feeling themselves. That 2-0, the fact that they were able to hold on, it wasn't even just a dominant snowball game. I feel like Clutch has shown multiple sides of them now. The comebacks as well as the domination.
Well, there is Kai'Sa for OpTic. Asta has shown some preferences to this champion already, both in LCS and in Academy.
And Asta's a player that surprised me. He's actually the biggest surprise of the split so far because this guy came in with pretty much only amateur tournaments under his belt, and he came in and performed immediately. Back-to-back games, he actually had great early games in both of them. It's just they weren't able to close out that second one. But he was one of the big shining stars on the team alongside Crown.
Curious to see a Syndra ban here actually from OpTic, so they're also respecting the possibility of Akali being a flex pick here for Clutch. And there's LeBlanc going to get banned away. Also good into Akali, so Damonte, if he wants to take the champion once again, we'll have that one blocked away.
And the jungle, like, not touched at all, really. It's just the Camille, so Xin is still there. You still have Sejuani, the Gragas.
There's also Zoe banned, so Crown will have to show us a new champion with both Lysandra and Zoe now banned.
Oh, Galio is still on the table as well. The Rise is still available. Decent champions pretty much all around that you can pick, unless it's a Rumble in the mid lane, but the Akali in the mid lane is something that I'm expecting here. And
Clutch do their homework, and they will actually ban the Yorick away. That also means they assume that Rumbles wasn't going top lane.
Yeah.
So I really like that from Clutch.
Yeah, they're just like, just in case, because they don't want to get like thrown for a loop there. Because even if you're picking the Rumble to kind of juke that it is going to be in the top lane and ends up being mid instead, then yeah, you don't want to fall for that. So they've banned a mid lane champion and a top lane champion from Clutch's side when they already see the Rumble.
There's also Lee Sin picked up by OpTic, so nice steal there for Dardoch away from Lyra, and of course a very good aggressive jungler.
If Lyra goes for the Elise, that would be really interesting because Xin Zhao is still up, Gragas is still up, and it's locked in, so he's going back to it. This is the champion that, you know, he was saying, can you go back to the 2 year ago Lyra? Like, that's what he was playing back then. So he's even regressed or gone back in terms of champion pool, traveled back in time.
Well, haven't seen Elise in a while. There's Jace as the final lock-in for Clutch as well. I imagine that's for Huni in the top lane.
I mean,
expecting the Rumble, but you never know.
You never know. So it's double flex picks here. On the side of Clutch gaming, Akali could be, I would assume it's mid, and I assume that Jace is top. But it's still a good pick into the Rumble, too.
Just kind of trying to decide on this last pick. Crown nodding his head.
Azir. Oh, wow.
Zion!
I'm piecing together my thoughts.
Whose Rumble is it? Is it Crown's Rumble?
I mean, Sion has been played in the mid lane. I think it's going to be Crown on that Rumble up against the Akali, saying that it's a matchup where the Rumble can just find the Akali in the Shroud, and it doesn't matter if you go down. Because normally, when you throw down the smoke bomb, the damage to you drops to 0, right? It's like hard to hit you, hard to find you. The Rumble can just spin around and find you and then just point it at that area and chase you around even when you're untargetable.
I like it from OpTic. We'll see how it works out, of course, as the game plays on, but a very curious champ select between these two sides. And I was kind of expecting a bloodbath because Clutch Gaming were involved in an LCS match. I'm very likely going to get one now. Just looking at the top side of the map, let's leave the Sion out of the picture for a second.
Okay.
But Jace, Elise, Akali, Lee Sin, Rumble.
Yeah, there's no tankiness here. You're probably going to have, the Tahm Kench and the Thresh trying to save people. We have a lot of supports going. This is where you have to be watching out, see who's going to blow up faster.
Your Guardian's working overtime. Everything's very stressful. Yeah, we'll see. Gage didn't even take Guardian. He has Aftershock, which also makes sense. So it's gonna be fun. Oh my goodness! Did you see the same keystone I just saw? Dark Harvest Rumble.
Dark Harvest Rumble. I'm trying. All right. Interesting.
You know what, Irene?
Maybe
we should just wait and see what happens.
I don't know this. I'm very unfamiliar with it, so I'm going to piece it together as I go along. And so will you guys at home, so let's get into this game.
Let's do it. Clutch versus OpTic. Clutch looking to stay undefeated in their first 3 games here in the LCS and join Team Liquid, actually. Tied for first atop the standings. OpTic 1-1. Would love to be positive here and take down Clutch, and got a spicy one to close out the day here.
Yeah, I just heard from production that our writer said it's a Dark Harvest is good in lane because you can stack it very easily on Rumble, but I tend not to believe our writer because he's a CLG fan, so he'll believe a lot of things just off of faith.
Well, nothing crazy happening, at least right now. We had all our fun in the champ select as teams fanned out across the river. Damante again back on the Akali, has the fleet footwork, which has become the standard.
Yep, fleet footwork, and then you actually have secondaries resolved just for tankiness. Like, the Akali's damage is so high, all you have to do is just get to that point. So it's like the Caston, like you were saying, that Azale had said. But I want to see this Rumble. What is this Dark Harvest going to do here?
It's got Ignite as well, so Crown's really kicking things up. He started off, he's playing Lissandra with TP, he's playing Zoe. He's like, no. We're done with that. I mean, Damante has really been through the ringer as far as strong mid laners go in his first 3 games alone. So now up against one of the newest mid laners here, and one with quite the pedigree. Crown is going to push him to the limits with this Ignite Dark Harvest Rumble.
Yeah, he's going to have to test him pretty heavily because if you're picking Dark Harvest Rumble, you're looking to bully the lane, scale, and try to get to a point where you can be effective in the mid-game. Rumble's a big mid-game champion, and late-game, depending on how many squishies there are. Luckily for him, there's like 5 of them on Clutch Gaming. And he can be very effective in this game if he gets going.
Right now, just farming away with Harpoon. Damante will have the early advantage here with that Q. Does ding level 2, but Crown not going to be too upset with the situation.
Yeah, there's farm for him to catch, and so he's just farming with the Harpoon.
Dardoch also blue crab, I believe.
Yeah. And no smites on either of them, so lead the crab that way. Uh-oh.
Damante also Lyra at level 2 with the red buff. That's always been good for Elise. And that will give the crab over. Nice look there from Lyra. Does spot Dardoch.
Yep. And as a jungler, it pains me, but that's how it goes. If your mid laner isn't shoving, which Crown was not because he didn't take Flame Spitter, then your jungle is lost. And now because Lyra hit level 3 off the crab, he knows that Dardoch can't be level 3 unless he does another camp or 2, and he has to go to the other side. So Lyra will get both Scuttle Crabs, protect both sides of the map, and then his winning lanes, which I believe all of his lanes are currently winning, besides potentially the bottom lane, then he can just play that top quadrant of the map. And now he's going to go invade.
Dardoch though smites away the red, so won't lose it. Is going to be spotted by the Scryer's Bloom though. Dardoch on the chickens, Lyra with the big wraparound, going towards the Krugs instead.
Okay, I'm waiting to see what Dardoch does here, because They know where both mid laners are. I think they'll go to his Krugs. Yeah. Okay, so Lyra figured it out.
This was seen by a ward that is just about to time out.
Yeah.
And Dokla wasn't in too much danger by the looks of things. Ooh, we'll see it now fall down. So Clutch know what's going on. Dardoch might actually be chased away here with Huni pushed up so heavily and being on such a good early game champion in Jace. This is frustrating for Dardoch, who is usually the one that likes to be doing this to other people.
Yeah. And that was Lyra going to the Krugs and then going away because he was like, I don't have priority, but a skirmish breaks out.
Jumping on a Dokla, there's the rappel down. Sion, not that tanky, needs a few more hits. Lyra flashes in for it, but Dardoch with the safeguard will protect his teammate.
Oh, and I think the Krugs actually might have saved them from some damage there. Crown, he's burning him down!
He ignited him, but that's not quite enough, I don't think. It's going to be close, but Damonte will live.
There's about 8 HP on Damonte there, but that's the idea behind the Rumble, is just spin around in a circle, find him in the Shroud. It does nothing for the Akali, because your primary damage source is that Q.
Well, that will force Crown back, and Damonte will TP back to lane.
I'm so excited about this. Like, whenever there's a counter pick that comes out to something that's first pickable, I'm just like, ooh, this shakes things up. Like, people are going to be practicing Rumble if this works out. They're going to be like, oh, we can finally counter the Akali. And then people will be like, okay, well, how do we counter the Rumble? Like, ganking it, like trying to get a priority jungler. So I love when these things come out and they shake things up.
We were pretty nonchalant, I'd say, about the Akali being given over to Clutch, but that is a very conscious decision you make in this kind of metagame. OpTic were just like, you know what, you can have it. We have something prepared. I would not have guessed Dark Harvest mid-Rumble with Ignite, but here we are.
Give me 50 guesses, I never would have guessed that, actually. Ever. But once it's locked in, it's like I can kind of piece it together where you'll be able to find her, so. Oh, man. And it looks like he's going first item. I don't think you can do a Spectre's Cowl like that early on as a Rumble. I would probably think he's going to go for, you know, maybe that's just part of the Oblivion Orb and part of Merc Treads. I don't know.
We'll see. Leandry's also very popular early, so.
Yeah, but the Null magic.
He just really wanted some ammo.
Oh, yeah, I mean, he does, because the fact that it's a jungler who's magic damage as well, having that will help you survive ganks.
Oh, level 6 now for Crown. Very curious to see a potential all-in. Dardoch is going to finally take his rightful Scuttle Crab, although not if Lyra has anything to say about it. It's going to be close! Dardoch, though, able to grab it. There's the stun, but Lantern should get Dardoch out safely. Dardoch, though, standing his ground, actually fighting with Crown roaming down with the ulti. There's Lyra tagged again. Dardoch wants the first blood. He will find it. And now's a hook on a Piglet. Oh, he gets two. Gate with the flay. Finds Vulcan, who had Piglet in his belly. But no follow-up there for OpTic. Still a great collapse.
Yep, and then Crown had put down the ultimate. He doesn't even get an assist on the back of that, though. But it was the priority that Crown had that time for the Scuttle Crab. So Dardoch able to hold his ground, even though Lyra was the one who walked up and continued to pursue.
Didn't get a Dark Harvest stack either, so a tragedy there for Crown around the Drake pit, but we'll see it again.
Yep, Lyra hits it, sees the Scuttle Crab, wants to walk up. There's no smite on either of them. Oh, he was so close to getting it with the Q, but then he's committed already. And then Dardoch's like, wait, I can actually kill this guy because the mid lane is being shoved in by Crown this time.
And now again, Crown will be forced to flash.
Yep, has dodged the cocoon from Lyra, which came from, I believe, Fog of War there.
Nice bit of pressure there from Lyra, despite suffering the first death of the game. And onto the Raptors we go. Gate is here, though.
It's the unexpected Thresh. It's the best Thresh.
Oh, good flay. Hits both. Now Crown's here again. Lyra looking for a second death in about as many minutes. That's going to be Dardoch launching on with yet another kill.
Damonte has ult.
Oh, the dodge is nice there. Mahuni is going to collapse down. Vulcan eats one. Dardoch is the target, but he safeguards away to safety as Crown. Still getting launched on, nullifying all procs, but a good flip from Damonte secures it. But here's a massive knock-up there from Dokla. Gets a kill and knocks up the other two as Gate with another double play is going to give Dokla the double, and here's Dardoch trying to seal it all together. There's a triple kill for Dokla.
Dokla in his first game back in 2019 gets a triple kill on Sion for showing up to that fight. Just a little bit later, it had just trailed off, and this is what we were talking about with Clutch Gaming, with those coin tosses that they just throw down over and over again, where their games, their scrims go either really well for them or really poorly. This right here, with the show up of Gate, with the flash play from Fog of War, puts Lyra in an awful spot. He gets taken down. And then even though it kind of looked like Clutch Gaming is trickling in, Damonte misses the second part of the ultimate to finish off Dardoch here. So Dardoch gets away, and then they commit to Crown. And, just that double man knockup. Vulcan went to the top side. Damonte had flipped back into it, and they had full vision of that coming too. They saw Dokla from that first control ward. Dardoch's like, I want an assist on this thing. Get me in there.
And that's exactly what happened. Krani, even with his dying breath, ignites there to help Dokla out with that first kill. There's Gate. Again with another good hook. This time lands on the Piglet. Vulcan, though, ready with the Devour, keeps him safe.
And it's funny to think about, because this game, like in terms of scaling, it's all over the place for Clutch. The Akali is really good later. The Ezreal is really good later. The Elise and the Jace, not so much at all. So having these fights, it's like Huni and Lyra want to have these fights. But I feel like Damonte and Piglet don't really want to have those fights, because they'll do better in the later parts of the game. And this is kind of what we were seeing last time against TSM, where Clutch Gaming had Huni and Lyra just kind of going down the top lane, showing up to these fights that they shouldn't really be having that early in the game, and costing them. Because you can see, he's just dominating the lane. He doesn't need much assistance. He doesn't need to show up to these fights.
I mean, Dokla is looking a little low in health. Huni will try and get some turret plate gold.
He's
gonna miss, but
yeah.
Power Dagger actually happened, so Huni kind of losing out on that trade.
There's 3 people on the top side. Lyra's here too, as well as Damonte.
Spotted though, as Lyra had a Scry's Bloom bit of vision pop over, and then a second time here as Dardoch maybe fancying himself some sort of 1v1. Damonte is on the blue buff though, so would not be a fair fight.
Fantastic for Akali, by the way. The blue buff gives you an absurd amount of regen, because you can't really get energy regeneration from anything else, save for, for passive and whatnot. But being able to kind of cycle things on her makes it very powerful for the healing. So the blue buff gives her so much, where you start spamming that Q out much more frequently with a heal behind it than you normally would. And it feels so good, actually.
Damonte,
he'll be able to throw down like 3 of them if he wants to clear away.
Sitting pretty here. Ooh, gets them all. Very nice. Krani going back to base. Does have those early Sork shoes. And a busting one. So, looks like he's maybe working towards... I guess it could be anything.
I was like, pick an item and commit.
I was going to say the
I was like, what is it? Yeah, but it's like pieces of a little bit of everything, right? We're still unsure.
Good mid-game champion, just get some items. Whatever you can afford, that's what you get, Cyrene.
Well, Crown's just keeping us guessing here. It's like, what's the champion? Where's the Rumble going? All right, well, why does it have Dark Harvest? And what does that build? This is actually just a delight, though, to see this. And there's the TP from Dokla. Doesn't care about the farm. He cares more about getting the flash.
Does get the flash. Dardoch was up there looking to try and pick him off. And Dokla able to get the rest of this wave pretty comfortably. And looks like Huni will be forced back and probably have to use his TP. We'll see if he wants to commit the spell. He does.
Yeah, he will. Giving Scion plates, really risky.
He already has 3 kills, so I agree. I wouldn't give him turret plates either.
He's also got an Iceborne Gauntlet, first item. This is something that you see some Scions build, and then you see that other Scions just never build this thing ever. It's like Sunfire Cape, so you can get your Grasp the Undying going, but here, it's like, well, I guess I need armor, and I want to deal damage. Like, this is an aggressive Scion build to have against the Jace. It feels like he wants to flip the matchup and just have him win it against the Jace and shut him down early.
I think the influx of gold may have helped in his decision-making.
Yeah, probably. Probably helped.
Dokla with 600 gold bounty. Those 3 kills really catapulting him ahead in gold, despite the fact that Huni does have a very healthy CS lead of 20.
Yeah, let's talk about Piglet for a second here, because he's somebody who went under the radar so far this split. A lot of people, it's been mixed on Piglet. Some people are like, oh, I don't really enjoy his play, it's too risky. Other people are like, well, Piglet, he's in top form right now, and we'll see right here.
Asta trying to finish him off, but a good lance in there is going to pull him back away from danger. Exhaust was also committed by Vulcan, so they do get something out of the trade.
Well, Asta just dives in and has to commit the flash to get out. So I don't feel like that's worth it at all. That's a much more valuable summoner spell than pushing him out of lane, because he has teleport and he's just going to come back right now. So Iceborne Gauntlet, tier, ready to go. Has the Kleptomancy, and the CS is pretty much even here. There's the TP from Asta, but... Oh, he got hooked anyway, but hey, pump dash.
It almost feels like Piglet's doing it on purpose.
I mean, I feel like Vulcan is the one who's just like, he has to keep Piglet safe. If it was like not Tom Kench, then it's a different game. But Piglet gets to do that on purpose.
Yeah, Gates had some great hooks, but as you mentioned, Vulcan has been there to deny.
Yeah, I too like to walk into hooks and say it was on purpose. All the time.
Plenty of safety.
Especially as a tank.
Dardoch, you can see, was around mid, but See if they want to use the Rift Herald somewhere else. Crown is moving up towards the top side.
They want to bop the flashless Huni.
It's a pretty good target. And away we go.
Crown's going to come in and say, remember World Finals?
There's the ulti. Huni knocked up. Dardoch is kicking everyone around, and he claims the kill.
And the TP is going to have to be committed anyway, too, from Damonte.
Get a plate just before it falls off.
I like that, too, from Dokla to charge the Q towards Damonte, because if Damonte had used his R for the micro stun, he would have been able to... Oh,
it's another really good hook by Gate. Damonte in the Shroud, forced to use the ulti to gap close over the wall.
yeah, he's gonna have to get out, and those are turret plates going down right before the 14-minute mark as well, so that's even more gold going over to the side of OpTic.
And side of Dokla, he's reaped pretty much all the benefits from this early game, as he will take the turrets down as well. Piglet and Vulcan working on something here in bot side. Lyra also going to join in to make sure that Clutch are able to trade across the map, but we saw a tanky Sion last game in a much slower one. See what Dokla can get done here in a very accelerated early game.
And if you had shown me these score lines and said one of these guys is Dokla, one of them is Huni, I would have gotten it wrong. Because honestly, like, Dokla's doing a good job in this game. His roam, keeping up in CS against a bully lane too. The Sion is extremely powerful and very safe to play. So it is helping him out there for sure. But now it's like Huni, I guess he's been here so long, it's like NA Jace finally. It's coming out again.
Oh no. Well, Damonte is still on Akali, so we'll see if he can work similar magic. And again, Clutch, not so far down. You can see the turret plate gold difference significant there for OpTic, but overall their gold lead is little under 2,000. So a strong lead as they move towards the 15-minute mark, but the game is not out of reach by any means.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the gold in particular for Damonte, because he's the one who had carried the game for them previously. The gold being concentrated on him seems pretty good for them. Even though Crown has 4 assists, Damonte has more gold than him with just 1 kill.
Another Drake, though, going to go over to OpTic. They grabbed that first Infernal a while ago now. Are going to take the mountain for themselves as well. With the map kind of being split up and Huni wanting attention to pressure forward in the top lane, OpTic have certainly been just able to waltz down and take the Drakes with ease.
Yeah, it's still hard for Huni to really pressure this matchup anymore after the double armor items have come out for Damonte. It's pretty much trade and then try to lifesteal back up as Huni and try to force that turret down slowly but surely, but Dardoch is making plays. This guy's 3-0 on 1. He's going to go in on that.
Yeah, jumping on a Vulcan. He's going to get himself devoured, though. There's an ult by Crown. Really nicely comboed to try and take down Vulcan, but the soup is enough to protect him. True Chop Barrage. Well, not by Dardoch and Crown. He flashes in his ignited Piglet. He's going to take him down.
Yeah, it gives him no chance to even flash away. He's like, all right, come here. You're going to burn. And he just takes him down.
Damonte wanted to roam in, had the ult ready, but couldn't find an angle, so the turret will fall. OpTic will continue to grow their gold lead.
And they're doing work across the map. Once again, Dardoch starting something up, and he feels very confident being in the jungle because he has the Hex Drinker, which is a great itemization alongside the Merc Treads versus the Elise. So Lyra doesn't really have much jungle agency left. He's behind in gold, and Dardoch can pretty much have free reign here. Goes in, sees Vulcan, doesn't do anything like a flash kick back or nothing like that. He's just waiting for Crown, forces the flash out of Vulcan. He gets out, but then Crown is just ready here. Piglet spent a little bit too much time. It looked like he was cooking a little bit longer than that. You had to take him out of the oven earlier.
See this exchange as well. Huni getting chased down by Dokla, who again is pretty significantly ahead.
Yep. Iceborne Gauntlet gonna stop you from running away.
Does have his flash, but no time to use it.
That was more damage than I expected there too at the very end.
I usually don't expect someone to solo kill the Chase in a 1v1, but that's what happened. Dokla continuing to have a good first game back.
Well, Dokla, he actually bought a Warmox, and it wasn't going to turn on until right now because he had like 2,900 HP. He just crested over 3,000. So the Warmox second item here, I feel like there's no way he loses this lane now. The Jace is pretty much irrelevant in this game. He doesn't have a poke item at all. He doesn't have lethality, so he's not going to even hurt the Kai'Sa or the Rumble that much. He was built for Split Push, and Split Push is completely upset by the 3 kills Dokla got.
Well, see what Clutch can get done, but for now it's OpTic in a very nice position as Crown and Damonte will meet up once again, this time in the bottom half of the map. Damonte ready with a Gunblade. Pistol Void in from Clutch, but Crown just ults away, walks away. Damonte still going to die, finds a stun with perfect execution, and there's the kill. It's Tana time, baby. Damonte takes down Crown.
Damonte saved the game before versus TSM. He's going to try to save it here, saying Huni and Lyra, you know, early game didn't go their way. They're playing for the late game now. They're getting that Akali online. Crown going down is big for them as he gets to continue that split push. And the big advantage that they have is there's more teleports on their side. Damonte has a TP, so if he gets split pushing and he can beat Crown in a one-on-one, then he'll be able to kind of wrestle the game back from a macro perspective.
Huni is also trying anything to make it work in the 1v1. That Blade of the Maroon King did do a nice job, but Dokla walks away, regens his health with the Warmogs, and Huni is just left to farm the waves again. Piglet here, tagged by a Void Seeker, but not going to follow.
It's going to be a lot of time before Clutch Gaming are going to be back in this, because they're 2 early game champions, shut down. Jace, Elise, no. And on the opposite side, Damonte and Piglet, and the Akali and the Ezreal, they need time to scale up. So it's almost like you have early game champions that aren't winning early game, and you have no mid game transition here. They're going to start losing objectives and relying on the Akali to maybe make something happen, or rely on OpTic not pushing their advantage enough.
But I think OpTic have done a good job pushing their lead. You can see gripping up mid, taking down the outer turret. Now 3,000 gold ahead with 3 turrets taken. Always a good spot to be in. And another Infernal Drake is spawning in 50-ish seconds. OpTic can look to take their second as turret does fall. Dokla not able to make it in time to protect it.
And now he's up against Damonte, where Damonte, he's magic damage. So, you need to buy some MR for the future here, Dokla, or else you'll get poked down a tiny bit by the Akali. I don't think you'll be all in. Pretty safe there with all that HP. It is something that you have to worry about as the game progresses.
It's like a lot of Akali Qs to kill the Scion. There's Dardoch fishing mid here.
Gonna make him a pin cushion before he even feels it.
Just roaming here with Gate. Gonna sweep it out.
20 seconds on the Infernal, so they want that to have the double Infernal. Oh, Huni on the bot side.
Ulti does tag him for a little bit of damage, but again, it's mostly the collapse that matters. TP's in everywhere. And that's Crown in onto Huni. Huni trying to get out, but Dokla makes it in first. There's a good stun on the other side, though, as Dokla took him out. And Gate with a good stasis. As Damonte is able to take down Crown. Gate also low falls to Piglet. Now Dokla just trying to run away. Clutch, I think they found a fight to at least right the ship.
And that was really well done there, because Clutch, now they'll have priority on this Infernal to wrestle it back. Huni gives up his life, but Piglet's going in on Dokla.
This is Piglet mode for sure. Damonte also behind him. Good kick by Dardoch, but Piglet can't quite kite around the Q. Dokla with really good coverage to protect his jungler, but that will still mean the Infernal Drake is forfeit to Clutch Gaming.
Yeah, Dardoch tried to kind of peek his head in, and Piglet was having none of that. So the Infernal Drake's going to get evened up there. A 3,000 gold lead still for OpTic. But right here, Damonte actually does a great job of turning this fight around. Huni is pulling them to the right. The TPs come down. They're committed at this point. And even though OpTic have more people in attendance, the Abyssal Voyage helps out. So Damonte gets in the back, goes on to Crown, throws back the E's, and then crosses across and gets Gate down 2 with the perfect execution. And Asta pretty much couldn't get in the fight. He shows up too late. I think he had TP as well, and he wasn't able to commit it fast enough.
Good kick again there from Dardoch at the end, just to make sure Dardoch stays alive.
Yeah, confirming he did have the teleport, but he's not faster than the Abyssal Voyage. So he walked down, and the moment had been lost. The moment had been missed before he could TP.
It's a shame too, because he does have 2 completed items. Would have been a significant balance changer in that fight.
Oh yeah, a big boon for them, because you can't get on that many people at the same time as an Akali.
For Damonte though, he does keep finding himself in good positions. 3-1-1 does have a bounty, so that's usually an indicator that you're doing something correctly. Weirdly, I never have a bounty. Very strange. OpTic though, again, gonna have to play with caution, because I think Clutch are certainly the type of team that no matter the situation, they will find a way to fight you. Whether it's the worst fight ever, odds-wise, or the best fight ever, odds-wise. They will take everything within that width.
Yeah, that's kind of how Huni teams have always been.
That's what I'm saying.
The SKT, right? Like we talked about, where
if only they were like that.
It just, when Huni's in the game, there's always going to be action around him or involving him, and he's really good at reading fights of when to fight for something, right? Like that was a fight that they wanted to take for Infernal Drake. There's fights where people are sieging inhibitors, and it's like, well, now we need to fight or we're never going to fight. So he's really good at picking those fights even when behind on his Jace. But second item, armor penetration here, he's just trying to find a way to deal damage to the Scion.
He's got to cut down Dokla. The big Great Redwood, very hard to kill, but with enough auto attacks, he can maybe make it happen. OpTic, though, going to try and move Cooney out of this lane and start the Baron.
Well, it looks like Clutch. They're finally going to commit the teleport now. Lyra's over the wall.
Gate low. Piglet found a pick off. There's the Gunblade zap from Demonte as Vulcan able to get the kill. They're going to dive in. The 50-50 is there. Who grabs it? It is Lyra that finds the shot down, and Clutch surge back into the game. Dokla tagged. There's the Shuriken flip, but Blastcone will get him out.
Yeah, but Dardoch is the one who got the smite on the Baron, so Lyra gets the shutdown, but it's Dardoch that gets the Baron and keeps them in it just barely.
Trolled by the kill feed.
Yep. Yeah, it just pops up like 3 things at once. And that smite was very close, though.
Dardoch continuing his strong performance then, 4-0-1 and a Baron, which unfortunately for him does not show up in the column. So it would have been a defining moment in this game from Clutch. Is OpTic continuing to hold an advantage, but it is starting to feel a little dicier as Clutch are finding more and more opportunities.
Yeah, but if any of these, this top part of the map for OpTic dies, there's a large bounty going over. Gate walks up, and then Piglet able to finally find the damage. The hook is out, so he's like, all right, I'm going. But you throws down the Build Spot Cutlass, gets the damage down. Lyra goes in, and then right here, he gets kicked out, and then he flashes in, and he almost gets it. It was 100-ish when the smite finally went down from Dardoch. And it looks like I think Lyra did get a smite in there too. So it was by the skin of their teeth. Kicked out, flash back in, almost gets it still.
Dardoch here on the blue buff. Take that one away. Clutch just trying to fight off the empowered waves. Dokla is down the bottom lane, getting that pushing, but again, any opportunity Clutch have to try and find a pickoff, they will take it.
Yep, Piglet's kind of keeping him in the game right now, as well as Demonte. Kind of the same story as before. And they need to have this poke land. They need to soften their targets up, especially with the Infernal Drake in 50 seconds here. They need to kind of clear these waves out. This composition lacks wave clear. Comes down to Ezreal ultimate, comes down to some of those Qs, but here comes the Scion.
Yep. Mostly for zoning. All memes aside, as Dokla gets plucked out to safety by the Lantern, and that does give them their 4th turret of the game.
Yeah, but that's going to be the Warmogs healing Dokla up. He'll walk straight back into this Infernal as if nothing had happened, and he got an ultimate for it. So it's a small win, but it's a win you can take.
Certainly so. OpTic will actually get a very strong foothold of vision all throughout Clutch's red side jungle. Almost over-preparing for this Infernal Drake, but it is a good one to get.
They want it really badly. If it goes over to Clutch, Clutch will have a lot of kind of gold and extra combat stats. This is interesting because Dokla is splitting bottom side with no teleport. They know he can't answer this. This might be mid lane to running to the top side of the map. Mid priority goes over, but I don't think this is not for the Infernal. I say to hell with that. This is just for turrets.
Yeah, I think Clutch knows that they can't really fight 5v5, so a little bit of a race has begun. There's the Infernal Drake over to OpTic.
Cooney wants to go top and then shove that and potentially get that top turret too. But there's 2 people on the bottom side. No, he has to actually recall because the Baron with Dokla and Asta, they're just going to get that inhib.
Really good call there for OpTic to TP their AD in. Actually, probably give them the inhib if they get a few more shots off. Dokla going to stay. They will grab it. Now the Abyssal Void's going to try and cut them off at the pass, but there's the Lantern out. Dokla, you are left to your own devices with your ulti, so you'll be fine.
Got ulti, and then boom, they're just going to counter push the mid lane here.
An excellent series of map play there by OpTic.
Didn't panic at all, especially since there's like a global advantage with having Vulcan have the Abyssal Voyage. That was almost something that went awry for them because they had to take that path up with Dokla and Asta afterwards. Asta.
Well, mid inhib down. Sorry, bot inhib down, mid inhib available for the taking. And Baron wears up just in time for OpTic to go back and spend up their newly earned gold. Gold lead is still pretty close between the two sides, all things considered, but the same cannot be said about the map advantage.
Oh, absolutely not. And especially this top lane here, because Huni has had almost no effect in this game, where Dokla is now just this giant beef ball running around, and you have to respect him, whereas the Jace is not going to do a whole bunch of damage. He's going to need a lot of time against that Scion.
See if they can buy the time they need. And again, look to their playmakers, look to Demonte and the Akali, look to Piglet towards that late game. But OpTic are playing like a very well-disciplined unit. Again, for a team that was thrown together effectively, in the early start of the season to even, put a new guy in Dokla who has likely been splitting practice with this side, given they played Aloran for their first few games.
Yeah, it's been really unexpected because OpTic, they were like, oh, well, Arrow's not here. What about Big? What about Gate? Like swapping back and forth. It's the same thing. Dardoch, Meteos. It's like, what's the team actually going to look like? And it turns out, because Crown really hadn't acclimated to either roster, you could put him in either of them and have results here. So far, it's looking good. And Dardoch with the 4-0-1 and Dokla coming in too with the 5-0-1 here.
I mean, for as well as Crown has played in his first 2 games, and as cool as this Rumble pick is, he has not been the focus of this game. It really is that top end jungle that you mentioned. Dokla again for his first trip back in 2019 should be applauded. And Clutch, I wonder what they'll find here. They have 35 seconds till another Baron is up and available, but I don't know there's too much they can get done. Yeah,
there's only a 2,000 gold advantage for OpTic, but of course they do have the double Infernal, and Dokla's going to try his luck and be like, all right, let's see. Can Damonte actually deal damage?
Again, Dokla is going to get collapsed on. It's 1v3, but OpTic charging to the base, and Piglet, he's got no health left. The block put up by Gate perfectly as Asta shuts down Piglet.
He's still alive.
Still lived after flashing out of the way. OpTic take the mid-inhib as well.
Wow, they committed so much. Dokla, the taunt comes down too. He knows. He knows that they have to respect him. He does so much damage over time, and if they're trying to chase him down, he has the Iceborne Gauntlet. They have to commit so much to kill him. I feel like he's at that point where he's unkillable.
Yep, and now Mountain and 2 Infernals mean the Baron gets cut down awfully quickly. OpTic will take their second Baron of the game and look to charge down top to finish things off.
Wait, what is Dokla buying? He's gonna buy Youmuu's? He's gonna buy Youmuu's Ghostblade? I think he's gonna buy Youmuu's Ghostblade. But yeah, he gets blocked there by Damonte. Doesn't matter that his Q's interrupted. Doesn't matter that he gets eaten up. He's gonna use the stopwatch. And then they all go, well, we can't stay there. And he flashes away. And they chase him down.
Huni is staying very
This is what Huni has become. This is what he's become.
I'm impressed, personally. The composure to not steal the red buff.
I would have taken it as soon as he didn't kill it. I was like, oh, well, should have been more fed, buddy.
Well, I don't know if it's the least of their problems. Probably that Piglet didn't get the red buff immediately with his ulti, because there's 2 lanes of supers pushing in, and the rest of OpTic with 2.5 minutes on Baron, trying to finish this one off in record time.
And Dokla is getting the components for, I don't know, he'll buy with some lethality item, but I'm ready for the Youmuu's.
So, I forgot to mention this earlier, and we might not have time, but I remember watching solo queue before the season started, and I saw Dokla Sion fight a lot, and he was the guy that was just building Trinity Force Sterak's on every Sion game, so he is no stranger to something a bit more aggressive, and it looks like he's having fun in this one.
Yeah, he's having fun. He can spend that gold on whatever he wants. He's already as tanky as he needs to be in this game. His W's given him, what, 1,200 extra HP. He's walking the minions in on the bottom side of the map right now. Clutch Gaming, they're going to have to do something to answer him. The answer seems to be Huni. I don't know if the answer is going to be enough here.
Again from Crown. There's a Siege ulti. Good flank ult there by Dokla. Dardoch moves in. Asta going to swoop straight in with the ulti as he takes down Lyra and almost picks off Vulcan.
Monte's going to execute.
Asta again looking to try and get picked up, but he goes invis after the stopwatch to keep himself alive. Turrets falling left and right. OpTic just going to leave Clutch's base in ruins as Dokla finds a double knockoff, and Clutch just don't have much fight left in them. Insult to injury here as Damonte's trying to fish for that final kill. OpTic want this last inhib if they can get it.
Actually, they're so low. Everybody is so low right now. And that's going to be Dokla just getting some HP back over time from the Warmogs. And they're just going to try to walk this one down. OpTic are going to try to ruin the 3-0 start potential for Clutch.
Nice stopwatch there for Huni as Dokla's ult is back already. He flashes out though as OpTic continue to apply pressure. Still 50 seconds left with this Baron. They can just walk the supers in towards the Nexus.
Yeah, and Dokla could probably just start punching that thing down. Even if he dies, he's going to walk it. He's going to be like, yeah, time for Sion.
Damonte Blade does pop Zhonya's. Lyra able to slay Gate. Also low, he's in stasis as well. It's just anarchy here in Clutch Gaming's base. But that's more than enough for OpTic to push themselves to 2-1 as they drive the school bus straight into Clutch's Nexus. Their academy, it makes sense.
And Dardoch, given the golf clap on top of it, like, yeah, that was a game. They honestly had that from the beginning where that fight went awry in the jungle on the top side of the map. The two early game champions from Clutch Gaming were shut down. They had almost no say in the game afterwards. And OpTic ran away with that lead on Dokla, the new guy coming in right now.
Could not have asked for a better first Scion ult, I think, if you're Dokla coming back to play on the LCS stage once more. And for Clutch, it's tough. I mean, they were looking to be the other undefeated team, to be up there with Team Liquid as the team to not drop a game. Unfortunately, it is now Liquid, the sole possessor of first place.
Yeah, but Clutch Gaming will have a chance tomorrow to bring them down and bring them to their level because they play as one of those games.
That's true. They can still be tied.
Yep, they can be tied.
At the end of the weekend.
Not undefeated, though. And that's one where it's becoming more and more like Demonte and Piglet are having the better mid games, the better late games here. And Huni and Lyra are just being too aggressive too early. Even though they have aggressive champions, one thing goes wrong and the whole game just ends up with them getting killed multiple times.
Well, for OpTic, that was a well-deserved victory, so we're going to send it down to Ovly and the OpTic top laner for more on that game.
Thanks, guys. Dokla, welcome back and congratulations. How was your first game back at LCS?
I actually felt really good being back. Compared to my last time when I first started in LCS, I felt more comfortable and actually really excited to play on the stage, yeah.
So we did miss you week one, but what was it like for you watching Crown and basically all of OpTic Academy play?
I mean, 10-man roster, I think is going to be like the next thing. So it's good that we embrace it and starting with it. So I mean, I was sad at first since I wasn't playing, but I ended up being supportive, yeah, I believe in our 10-man roster.
So is there more talks of a 10-man roster? Because I remember last weekend I had talked to Dardoch and he said that I think that game was only his first game that he played with Crown.
Yeah, well, we had a little visa issue, but Arrow's coming back next week, so yeah, we'll be sorted out on that. But yeah, that definitely was his second game or something with Crown.
Second game, but you guys still looked great. Dokla, thank you again and congratulations on the win. And to wrap up the day, let's hear from the State Farm Analyst Desk.